So you all have been asking me to share my PSA graded collection. Okay, let's check them out. All right, guys, before we get into this, I just want to say, since we're having such a fancy Charizard fest, I'm going to be giving away this PSA 10 Charizard to one of you guys who's a subscriber. Stick around to the end to find out how. Okay, so I also want to mention, guys, this list is going to be in order of like my most favorite and kind of most cherished Charizards, and not so much in order of like value, but these are the ones that mean the most to me. So let's get into the first one. Number one is going to be the XY Evolutions Holo PSA 10 Charizard. So guys, if you follow me on Instagram or not, you have likely seen this card. If you don't follow me on Instagram, link is down in the description. But this card is so special to me, guys, not just because it's like a kick-ass card, but this set is what brought me back into the game. And Evolutions is a very nostalgic set. It is the beer budget base set. Don't get me wrong, I tried multiple times to get my own in a PSA 10 that I pulled, but it wasn't possible. This card is just so hard to get in a PSA 10. I had to, at the end of the day, just pony up and buy one. I got a very nice deal on it. This one sells right now for about $2,000 last I saw. I got mine for much less, but the value is irrelevant, really immaterial, because I'm never going to sell this card probably. So it's just one of those things, like if my wife is watching, I'm sorry. This is, we're going to lose the house before we lose the card, probably. It's really close. So this card's very important to me. It's my number 5 of my top 5, and it's just, it's just one of those cards. You guys know what I'm talking about. You have those cards. You guys have those cards that you just wouldn't give up for the world. So that's my number 5 card. Number 4 is the Game Art Collection Charizard, PSA 10. So this is another one, guys, that I've definitely posted on Instagram, on the channel. I've showcased in an episode. There's just something about this artwork. There's something about this card. This is a Japanese promo card that comes with a booklet. I'll see if I can find some info on it or something that I can show you on the screen. It almost feels like the beginning of the alternate art story from Brilliant Stars from that card. If you know what I'm talking about, I'll put it up on the screen. It's just, it gives me the same kind of feel. I don't know. It's the artwork for me on this. I can't get over. I have the booklet also. I need to do like a really in-depth look at the book and the card itself. That would be fun for us to do. But yeah, that's my number 4, guys. This thing's coming in at about $1,000 in a PSA 10. It is just, there's nothing. I don't know. It speaks for itself. It just speaks for itself. That's my number 4. Number 3 Charizard that I care about, and that is going to be the Vivid Voltage Staff Charizard in a PSA 10. So this is another one, guys. The reason why this card is so important to me is obviously it's a staff card. This card is significant for multiple reasons. It is the last printed Charizard staff card from the game. Now, will there be more? I do not know. Will that matter? I don't know either. But this card is not important to me for those reasons. This card is important to me because it kind of solidifies the beginning of this channel. This was probably my second episode where I sent this card away for grading, and it came back a PSA 10, and let's just say I was very excited, to say the least.
Let's go.
Back then, there was ones of tens of people watching the channel, and this is a very sentimental card for me for that reason, because I was actually able to document me getting this back in a PSA 10. I've obviously had over 1,000, maybe 2,000 cards that I've gotten back myself, back, before the channel, just still being a cardboard degenerate. And, I never got to document something like that. And this card is important to me for that reason. That is number 4 for me, Staff Charizard from Vivid Voltage. This thing's coming in at about $2,000. Something to note also, it did come down from $4,500. When I got this back at its peak, it was at about $4,500, which is pretty insane to lose 60% value. That's crazy. Number 2 on my list is actually a one-tube combo, and that's going to be the Charizards from EX Power Keepers. You're going to see 2 cards here. Obviously, one's a PSA 9, one's a PSA 10. One is the regular holo, and one is the reverse holo that you guys can see here. Early on, this was probably 2014, 2015, I bought a bunch of EX Power Keepers packs. They were $25 a piece, if I'm not mistaken. I opened them in my kitchen with my wife a day after work. I'll never forget this, and I'm opening this pack, and the seller, and back then there was a chronic weighing and all this stuff. The seller said they were unweighed. I opened up like 8 packs, and there was nothing in them. My last pack, I pulled these 2 Charizards in the same pack, guys. Undocumented. You would have to be there to believe me. It might have looked something like this. It was just an incredible experience. It's one of those things, again, where it's not so much the card, but the experience and the memory. And I sent them both into PSA. Back then, it cost about $8 a piece to get them graded. One came back a 9, which is so unfortunate. That would have been so sick if I could have gotten them in succession, if you see the numbering, and got them back-to-back in a PSA 10. But this card specifically, the reverse, is actually more rare than the regular holo. And believe it or not, I saw a recent sale for this reverse PSA 10 for $7,000. And then I only see ones listed now for $10,000 and $12,000. It's a Pop 38 in PSA, which is absolutely psychotic. So crazy. But yeah, that is my number 2, guys. And there's 2 of them, but same pack, just the memory. It was insane. If that could have come back a 10, that would have just been the best. That is my number 2. All right, guys, before we get into my number 1 most cherished Charizard, we're going to do some notable mentions because I'm sure you guys are going to want to see these. These are ones that I do care about. They are important to me, but they didn't make my top 5. This was a hard one. That's what she said. This was a tough one for me to pick out because I do have probably in the neighborhood of 40 graded Charizards in a PSA 10, and then I have probably another 100 to 150 that are loose, just hard copies that are in near mint to mint condition. So it would have just been there's not enough time in the world. So let me go through some notable mentions. First was the Hidden Fates Charizard, Full Art GX. You guys are very familiar with that probably. Another one that's so important to me was the Generations Charizard. We actually pulled this on the channel and then made an episode of getting it graded. So super insane, awesome slab. These were cool. These are Japanese promo cards. They're Poncho Pikachu. They're not specifically Charizards, but they're wearing Charizard ponchos. And I just love the way they look. These are some of my favorite artworks. It's just fun. It's a fun card, and I'm a fan of that. All right, next is Blaine's Charizard from Gym Challenge, and this is just a very important card to me. Childhood, total nostalgia vibes, 100%. Next, of course, is the Gold Star Charizard, which I do have in a PSA 5. I give you my word on everything. I will own this card in a PSA 10 one day. When that day is, I do not know. What I'll have to give for it, I don't know that either. If you have one and you want to trade, contact me, DM me, email me, because I will make an aggressive offer at you if you want to trade for a PSA 10. I will have this in a PSA 10, and we'll have to retire this guy. Lastly is the Rainbow Rare or Hyper Rare Charizard from Burning Shadows. Again, another very important card to me. I opened up well over 1,000 cards before I finally got to the Charizard. And it's, this is one of those cards. It's so important to me, and honorable mention. All right, so last card, guys, and it's probably not going to be a surprise to you whatsoever, but it's going to be the Shining Charizard from Neo Destiny. This is another one of those cards, guys. Let me take this. Let's unsheath this bad boy. Okay, he's been in this leather prison for far too long. So this card is from Neo Destiny. It is it's a simple card. It's a simple man's card. It's not, most of it's not even hollow. The only textured portion of it is the Charizard itself. I obviously did not pull this. I had to purchase it, but this is, again, Right when I was exiting the game, when I was a young kid, this card was very popular. And even back then, we definitely took it for granted, which is unfortunate. We didn't know what we had back then. We were just idiot kids. And yeah, this card, it's a very, very strong example of a PSA 10. It's nearly perfectly centered. I've obviously been up and down this card. It does have maybe the slightest excess of white in the top left. But other than that, it's a very, very decent copy, an example of what a PSA 10 should be. And yeah, one day, again, this is another one of those cards. I will own this card in a first edition PSA 10. This one's going for about $4,000. I saw last sold. It was around $10,000, which I thought was so crazy at a time. Maybe I should have sold mine, but again, not about the money in this case. It's just about the card, the feels, and me being able to put it back in its leather prison. And if you guys want, I'm sure there's going to be comments on who makes this case. I have no affiliation with them whatsoever, but it is cardcasepro.com. I know people are going to ask about that, but yeah. All right, guys, if you want to win this Charizard right here, real easy, and you guys should already be used to it. You got to be subscribed. If you're not subscribed, you can't win. Those are the rules. Like the video, guys. Hit the bells for notifications. It'll notify you for future content. It'll also let you know when I announce the winner of these, which will be in our next live event, however that, falls in line, corresponds time-wise. Comment down below. What was your favorite Charizard that you saw in today's episode? And you're instantly entered to win. I appreciate you all. Let's freaking get it. Road to 50K. Yo, what's up, guys? If you want to see a video that I think that you might like after watching what you just watched, click the button right here. And if you want to be one of those people that want to subscribe to the channel and see how far this rabbit hole goes, the button's right here. Do it!